Hello, my unique student. How are you doing? I hope you are having a wonderful moment at home. This is your civic education teacher, Mr. Amanam Igbe. You are welcome to this e-teaching and learning process, and I want you to be very, very attentive. The topic for today is cultism, and I have 3 behavioral objectives. That is what you must know at the end of this lesson. Number 1, you must be able to define cultism. You must be able to state not less than 5 reasons why students join cult group. And finally, you must be able to identify 4 ways of preventing cultism in this society. Before I swim into the definition of cultism, I would like to give you a brief historical background of secret societies in Nigeria. Do you know that secret societies were in existence even before the coming of the colonial masters? The Igbo masquerade groups that we had, even it is still in operation in some communities. It is very, very active in some communities, even in Akwa Ibom State here. In those days, the Igbo masquerade group were regarded as what? A cult group. They played significant roles in enhancing and sustaining the cultural norms and values of the traditional society. The community heads and chiefs used them as an instrument to enforce rules and regulations. They were regarded as secret societies or cult groups. In the late 1940s, higher institutions in Nigeria were not associated with cult activities or secret societies. The first cult group in Nigeria came into existence in 1952 when a group of 7 students led by Professor Wole Soyinka founded the Sea Dogs Confraternity, also known as the Pirates, at the prestigious University of Ibadan. The sole aim of founding this cult group was not, to some extent, destructive in nature. The sole aim of founding the cult group was to fight against colonialism, to get rid of the Nigerian society of those people that were very, very oppressive, and to promote and enhance the dignity of human person. Some members of this cult group, that is the Sea Dogs Confraternity, embarked on humanitarian functions like donation of blood to hospitals to save lives, presentation of gifts to orphanages, and they also perform nationalistic functions like creating civic and political awareness. Aside from that, let us look deep into what cultism is all about. I know cultism is not a strange word to you, and I have 2 definitions of cultism here in this lesson. Let me read. The first meaning of cultism is that it is defined as a ritual practice by a group of people whose membership, admission, policy, and initiation formalities, as well as their mode of operation, are kept secret, with the activities having negative effects on both members and non-members alike. Second definition: cultism or secret cults may also be seen as a form of organization whose activities are not exclusively kept away from the knowledge of others, but such activities are carried out at odd hours of the day, and they clash with the accepted norms and values of everyday life. From these 2 definitions, you can jump into conclusion that this group, known as a cult group is antisocial ritual practice. Have you seen it in that definition? Ritual practice. That means it has to do with there is a sacrifice is always an attribute. Membership, admission policy and initiation formalities, as well as their mode of operation are kept secret. That means the activities, the ideology are kept secret without the knowledge of non-members. That means there are some signs, there are some symbols that may make meaning to them, but it has no meaning to us. And this is a group that perform some set of functions at late hours of the night. So from this definition, we can say that a cult group is a group that is very, very secretive in nature. The operation, the activities are performed in odd hours of the day, and their functions, the ideology, and even their rules are meant for members alone. In that case, that kind of group is known as what? A cult group. They are very secretive in nature. The activities are meant for members alone. And there is always a ritual practice, and that means it is diabolic in nature. So that is what cultism is all about. Let us see the next subheading: reasons why students join cultism. What are the reasons? Because the rate at which cult membership is taking place in secondary and tertiary institutions in Nigeria is very expeditious. So we are going to check and see the reasons why students join cultism. Number one, peer group influence is one of the reasons students join cultism. Peer group influence. A peer group is a group of people within the same age range, and they have the freedom to discuss or disclose their problems and feelings to each other. Every student belongs to a particular peer group circle. That means you have a particular group of friends, that maybe 2 or 3, that you can share your feeling or you disclose your secrets to. That is a peer group circle. And this is a factor. This group, peer group, is one of the reasons why students join cultism, because your friend as a member of your group can force you or can force a particular student to join or to do what he did not even want to do. So the peer group factor is a very significant factor in all aspects of life. That is why in socialization we said we have many agents of socialization. We have the family, we have the peer group, we have the church, we have the society, we have the school, and the peer group is the most influential agents of socialization. In this context, you can see that it is number one, the peer group factor. The peer group factor. That is why you are advised to stay away from bad friends, bad company. Be in the midst of friends that will affect your life positively, that will encourage you to read, so that you can become effective and law-abiding citizen of Nigeria. So peer group influence is one of the reasons students join cultism, because they will be forced and persuaded to do or to join cultism. And when they try to, resist, they will be forced or they will be persuaded. Sometimes they will tell them, okay, we are not your friend, don't come around us again, and things like that. So this is a very critical factor, an avenue through which students find it very easy to be part of a particular cult group. Number two is lack of moral instruction, code of conduct and discipline at home, and the manner in which the child is brought up. This is in the context of the family. Lack of moral instruction. In Bright Future College, without being told, that every day, starting from the devotion, we inculcate in our students moral instructions. And you know what moral instructions is all about, without being told. Those acceptable attitude, behavior, values like discipline, contentment, loyalty, respect, hard work. These are the things you need to exhibit in your daily life. And when this is lacking, there is a possibility of a student being deceived into a cult group. In our school, Bright Future College, we have a code of conduct, the way you should conduct yourself, because we have rules and regulations put in place to regulate your behavior. So when this is lacking, when there is no discipline at home and in the family, and the way a child is brought up, maybe some families the child is not properly brought up, as such it creates there is a conducive environment for the child to be a cult member, because of what? The moral instruction was not adequate. Moral instruction was not given to him or her. So this is also a factor why students join cultism. Number 3, parents themselves may be members of secret cults. This is not funny, my students. Do you know that some parents are members, are part of a particular secret cult, sometimes not even one? There are some cult groups that if you are a parent, you must introduce your family. Sometimes parents will try to hide from their, from their child or children, that they are not members, or, everything you have to be, as a cult member, everything is done in secret. So sometimes students or children are always very sensitive to detect what their parents are doing. Maybe the parent might perform one, activity at home, maybe in the night, and there are some children that are very, very sensitive. They know that what the parent is doing is outside the scripture. So they try to nurse this feeling that, oh, maybe my dad is trying to protect us, or is trying to do one thing or the other in our good. So as time goes on, this child or the student might introduce or look for a way to be a member of a particular cult group. So in this case, parents are advised not to participate in any cult activity. So this is one of the reasons why students join a cult group. Number 4 is cult members may come from broken homes where child abuse and neglect are rampant. When there is a divorce, there is a possibility of a child, if proper care is not taken, being a member of a cult group, or the child is abused by parents or the guardians or anybody. So if the child is neglected, maybe a child is in the university or in the school, and is looking for one basic need or the other, and the parent is not in a position to provide it, those cult friends might come around, to show love, to show that kind gesture, and as such, the child might easily, bend to their ways. So when there is a broken home, when there is a broken home, maybe as a result of divorce or child abuse, or the child is not properly taken good care of, so there is a possibility of a child being a member of a cult group, because he will be stranded. Number 5, some students join cultism as a result of frustration they encountered as a result of broken homes. Sometimes the child is frustrated, no help, nobody to assist. He's hungry, nobody to give him food. He's putting on wrapped, nobody to assist him buy new clothes and stuff like that. So he lives in the streets, and gets into the midst of indisciplined youth or friends, and as such, they will introduce him into the system, the cult system. So this is also a factor. Number 6 is encouraged corruption and erosion of standards in the educational system. When a particular educational system or school, when we talk about educational system, we are referring to a school, be it a secondary school or a university. When the school is not well secured, is not conducive for teaching and learning, there is a possibility of students having a field day, in their cult activities. For instance, you see, some public schools are not well fenced, and as such, people can come in from the backyard. They have about 5 ways through which they can just penetrate the school. In that case, students can easily, or a cult group can, have a meeting in a place or in a secluded location there in the school. And when a school that is lacking in standard, there is no discipline, there is moral instruction is not inculcated in the students, there is a possibility of students getting into cult activities or joining cultism. Number 7, quest for power. Quest means you struggle for power, looking for power, status and protection. Sometimes students are bullied in the school, and as such they want to pay back. Maybe they were threatened, they were robbed, they were raped, and as such they want to pay back. Maybe they think that the only option they have, or the only remaining, is to be a member of a particular cult group. So this is one of the reasons. Sometimes they want to, have a sense of belonging among those students that, those indisciplined students. They want to assume a particular status in the school or even in the society. Sometimes they want to attain a particular level, maybe political, maybe social, maybe educationally. They want to, attain this particular height, and they will be deceived that one of those ways through which they can assume such positions is to, be a member of a particular cult group, or they are looking for one protection or the other. So these are the reasons why people or students join cult group in the society. So we are done with that. The next subheading is ways of preventing cultism. Number 1 is that governments and non-governmental agencies should intensify the campaign against cultism and its destructive tendencies in school at all levels. The government must make laws that will eradicate and limit the proliferation of cult membership in the society. And this work or this task is not left for the government alone. Other non-governmental organizations must also work hand in hand with the government to make sure that they intensify, they try as much as possible to discourage citizens from joining cult groups. For example, embarking on sensitization program in the mass media and so on. This year, the Akwa Ibom State government proscribed a good number of cult groups. There were many, but I don't want to mention their names. There were many. They were proscribed. They were declared illegal groups in the state. This year, the Akwa Ibom State government abolished and declared that such group should not operate in the society or in the Akwa Ibom State society, because they have nothing positive to offer this society. So that is one of the reasons the government, that is one of those factors, those areas the government can contribute in preventing cultism in the society. Making laws, constricted laws with severe punishments, so that anybody caught in the activity will be punished accordingly. Number 2 is that parents should desist from being members of secret cults. That one is self-explanatory. Parents should not be part of any secret cult, so that their children will not follow their steps. This is one of the preventive measures. As parents, we are encouraged not to participate in any diabolic or cult activity, so that our children will not, emulate us. We should try as much as possible to do what is good, so that they will follow that line, not to involve ourselves in cults, things that are diabolic, activities or groups that are very, very destructive. There is always a negative, anything cultism is related to, satanic, activity. And as such, there is always a negative implication. The price is always very heavy. The price of being a cult member is always very, very heavy to pay. It involves taking somebody's life, or in fact bloodletting, armed robbery, kidnapping. As a cult member, if you are those cultists, all this kidnapping, bullying, raping, armed robbery, vandalism are performed by cultists. So in that case, it is this group is highly prohibited by the society because of the moral characteristics attached to it. Parents should prevent their children from joining bad groups. Yes. In BFC, we don't have a bad group. So at home, we don't expect you to keep bad company, because your friend in that particular group may introduce you into a particular activity, and before you know, you have been initiated. Before you know, it is too late. Before you know, you will start involving yourself in drug abuse. Before you know, it will be too late. Don't forget, your family is very important to you, and your life is very precious. So in this regard, parents should prevent their children from joining bad groups. And you, as a student, you know the difference between good and bad. You know those set of friends that are very, very useful and positive to your life. So those ones that have nothing to offer, always coming up with gist about social, immoral activities, and so on, try as much as possible to stay away from them. Number 4, moral and civic education should be reintroduced in all spheres of life. Yes, in moral instructions and civic education is in fact is very important, because you are taught the acceptable attitude, the acceptable way of life, the behavior. That is why right from in Bright Future College, right from starting from the devotion, we start to inculcate in you moral instructions, the behavior. We have a code of conduct, the way you are expected to behave. So you are not expected to transgress from these rules. So moral and civic education should be reintroduced in all spheres of lives. When this is introduced, it's going to prevent cult activity, it's going to prevent cultism in our society. So students must be inculcated with civic and moral education so that they can use it in their day-to-day life. Number 5 is guaranteed security and protection in the society. One of the primary responsibility of the government is to protect lives and property. So when the government needs to establish and strengthen the law enforcement agency to make sure that there is no hiding spot for cult activities. So this is one of the preventive measures against cultism. Number 6 is proper monitoring of students in schools. Students should be properly monitored. The activities of children, of students, should be checked. That is why we don't hesitate in this function, in this responsibility. We monitor your whereabouts. Not that we are not trying to, we are not trying to limit your liberty. We are trying to protect you. That is why there is need for students to be properly monitored, what they are doing, what are the activities, what are they doing. So that is the end of the lesson. I believe it is very, very interesting. And this is the evaluation. This evaluation is to confirm if you have achieved the stated behavioral objectives. I have here what is cultism. I hope you know what cultism is all about. It is a group of people, an organized group of people that embark on some kind of activities that are meant for them, that is kept secret, oblivious to other members. It involves rituals, activities, and some of these activities are performed late in the night. The major word in a cult group is the secretive aspect of it. They carry out their nefarious activities in the secret. So in that case, try as much as possible. You must know what cultism is all about. The reasons why students join cultism: out of frustration from a broken home. I've made mention of that. They are frustrated, maybe as a result of the fact that their parents are members, or they are neglected because of abuse. Peer group factor that has played a very critical role in that. So try try as much as possible to know all these reasons and those ways through which this cult group can be prevented in the society. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Goodbye.